Beetlejuice was released on March 30th, 1988. After Barbara and Adam died in a car accident, they find themselves stuck in a haunting limbo inside their own house and can't leave. When dealing with the unbearable Dietzes and their teen daughter Lydia, they tried to scare him out, however, fail in the process, which summons Beetlejuice, a spirit who will help them, but will realize quickly that it becomes a very dangerous process for him. This movie is funny, it's scary, it's Beetlejuice. How much more can I ask for? It had the best acting, the best effects, the best music out of 1988. And again, just like Reanimator, it is one of my favorite horror movies from the 80s. And I really do appreciate the acting here. Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is perfect for the role. It spawned, a lot of different things here. Beetlejuice spawned at least a cartoon series that at least was part of the 90s and also part of Fox Kids. And there was also a sequel that probably will come out sooner or later. And I actually, for the most part, want to talk about it. Beetlejuice itself has become one of those interesting movies to watch with the family. And trust me, it's for the family. Not those pesky ones like Trolls or Troll 2 or even the good ones like Wreck-It Ralph. No, this was the family movie. This was a family movie that you can watch with the kiddies, but you can also watch with grown-ups too. I enjoyed this movie. And actually, rewatching it again, it's really interesting to look at. Combining the stop motions and the practical effects show how good it was. And the fact, too, that, Adam and Barbara are stuck in a limbo or their own purgatory was a very nice idea. I think if they knew what this whole manual thing did, they would probably get away scot-free and they'd be fine. But the idea that Beetlejuice has ads and they basically don't have a phone number or anything shows how nice it is too. And I also love the environment of Beetlejuice. The TV series doesn't really show it that much, but the movie shows it very well on how these random characters had died recently. Like a guy getting run over by a car, some steamroller, or a beauty pageant woman dying from slitting her wrists, or somebody getting cut in half, or a snake getting bitten, or choking on a chicken. There were so many ways that people have died, and most people, if you looked on Google like I have, Beetlejuice died of suicide. Probably because of the fact that he couldn't take it. The guy was a very strange man, and he always did bad things. Beetlejuice was potentially a bad guy, but he was a very innocent bad guy, so can't really blame him. The fact, too, is that you have to say his name 3 times in order for him to appear, but also 3 times again to make him disappear. That was the whole thing about Beetlejuice. You say his name 3 times, he'll come. You say his name 3 times again, he'll disappear. That is what his role is, and I think that's got to do that Beetlejuice is actually cursed to do this type of stuff. He may be a bioexorcist, and I believe a very powerful one, which he uses to his advantage to make her have a nice fun time, but he's also cursed to that too because, it's cursed, it's a curse that I can't understand. I think he's cursed. That's all I can say. His name is cursed. But I did love the effects, and I also love the ending, the football players on the steps while Lydia was dancing to the beat, and they were dancing on the steps, and they were actually transparent. I loved it so much. I loved the idea of the ghost being dead. I loved the idea of how there's just a manual and a waiting room to be into the afterlife. That's actually a nice idea. And Michael Caine, like I said, was a very good job of Beetlejuice. There were some scary scenes, like the snake scene, which was pretty much one of the most disturbing parts of the entire movie. The snake actually, and yeah, for me, I'm not a snake lover. I hate snakes. It was creepy enough to look at, and it was very much stop motion. Stop motion can bring itself to the uncanny valley when used right. And sometimes it won't when they actually use it correctly. And sometimes it will lead to some very interesting expressions, which I'll get to in most of the Tim Burton movies that I have lined up. And this is Tim Burton. Tim Burton directed this movie, and it was fantastic to look at. And composer Danny Elfman played the musical score, which was really good. I loved the musical score of Beetlejuice. It was a very nice movie to watch. Now, there is some things I don't like about this one. Well, let's just say the family, the Dietzes. I have nothing against Lydia because she was a main character of the actual storyline of Beetlejuice, and the cartoon series made her a completely main character. But the Dietzes, the family itself, like, I'm sorry, but do half of them have anxieties? Like, the mother has anxieties with her stupid artwork, and the father has anxieties of trying to relax. I mean, I have anxieties, but that's part of my disability. Like, what kind of excuse they have? I mean, the mother's artwork looks like a slab of garbage molded together with some type of Play-Doh. The father is basically relaxing and trying to keep at least some part of the house at least original. And good God, the artwork of the house looks horrendous when they refixed it. Originally, it looked beautiful, colorful, old school, but colorful nonetheless. It had a lot of imagination. This one, it's bland. There's a lot of grays. There's a lot of whites. There's a lot of blacks. Like, what is up with people that like these types of colors here? Sure, my room's like a white and blue with a little bit of that, but those are the only colors I can choose. For me, gray is good in an office building, but definitely not at a house. Like, ladies and gentlemen, do not color your house gray, white, and black. You put those colors together, you're just asking for disappointment. I like the colors like that blend together. Make a big bright scenery here. I mean, sure, I'm wearing a gray shirt, but that's the man's style, you know. I have a lot of blue here, as you can see by my sweater. And that's basically it. But I still can say that this movie is fantastic. It's a fantastic movie that I highly recommend for the family to enjoy. And a lot of good reasons, too. Now let's talk about the sequel. I heard that there was going to be a sequel for Beetlejuice. As you saw by that picture, that was a fan-made picture, a fan-made trailer that probably you could see on YouTube. However, I've heard that there was, and it's a rumor. I don't know, it's just a rumor, that there's going to be a sequel to this movie. So that means, is it going to be a sequel to the very end, like Lydia's going to be grown up and maybe she misses Beetlejuice? Maybe, I have no idea, but it would be great to see a sequel for Beetlejuice. Now, do I think it's going to be as good as the original? No. Even Halloween 2 was not as good as the original, and then Halloween 3 was becoming an anthology series. And then you look at the other sequels that came better. There were some good ones, like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which has been dubbed one of, if not the best sequels of all time, and has become an instant classic, like the original Terminator movie. But do I think that this one's going to be as good? Only time will tell if I can actually look at the film. But nowadays with this whole coronavirus shit, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to. Unless there's going to be an instance to try to do drive-in movie theaters, but I don't even know how expensive those movie theaters are going to be. But regardless of what I say, I think a sequel should be added. A remake? Hell fucking no. Do not remake Beetlejuice. Leave it be. But a sequel to that movie is a must-have. I would love a sequel to that movie. And to be honest, I'd be looking at it. I want to look at some clips. I want to look at a nice trailer. I want to see what new storyline. What's going to happen to the Dietzes? What's going to happen to Lydia? What's going to happen to Adam and Barbara? Are they still stuck in the house, or are they finding their way to the light? I have no idea, and I actually want to know. There's got to be, like, explanations to that one. Like there's going to be explanations to other movies, you know? But regardless of what I say, Beetlejuice is a great movie to look at. And I love it so freaking much. Oh, man, that movie was good. But coming tomorrow, we're not going for a bad movie. Not quite yet. I don't think there is bad movies on my list. But this one is going to be quite depressing. And it was created by the author Stephen King.